In this video, we're going to be going over AI for everyone, and this is our part 11 video inside of this series. And specifically inside of this video, we're going to be going over working with an AI team. So let's get started with this video. So working with an AI team, the first thing is to get started. So even without an AI team, you can still take an online course in machine learning or deep learning that can also help to provide enough knowledge to start an AI project. So to get started, you don't need to immediately get an AI team. First of all, you need to at least watch some tutorials online, some courses online, so you can at least have a bit of understanding of what machine learning or deep learning is. So this is the first part, which is to get started. So now we're going to talk about setting acceptance criteria. And at this stage, you should already have an idea of what your model is. So the first thing is important, so you need to clearly specify the acceptance criteria for your project, such as achieving 95% accuracy in detecting defects in coffee mugs. And in our previous part 3, 4, and 5 video, we talked about machine learning. So machine learning in this case, we're talking about detecting defects in coffee mugs, such as if they got scratches or not, or if they have mispainting or things like that. So in this case, once we have a model ready, this model is going to tell us if our coffee mug is going to have defects or not. And then what we need to do is we need to set an acceptance criteria. For coffee mugs, we're going to probably say at least 95% above. So that means the model will get 95% of the questions right. So if we provide a coffee mug to it, then it's going to get it 95% of the time right. So that is good enough for this case. And for your case, you're also going to need to set an acceptance criteria. Maybe yours might be 100% or it might be 90% or 95%. It depends on the project that you're trying to make. So this is step number 1, which is to set your acceptance criteria. And furthermore, the second part is the test set. So in this step, you need to provide a data set to measure the performance against the acceptance criteria. And this data set is formally called as a test set. So once you've got your model ready and you're ready to test it out, what you do is you provide a test set to it. So taking the same example of the coffee mug, and once our model is ready, we provide a set of test data to test if we get that performance accuracy as we needed. So if we said we wanted 95%, then if once we provide our test set and the model does get 95%, then we know that we trained the model well and we don't need more data. But let's just say we wanted 95%, but then our model was giving 80% instead. So then we know we need to train our model with even more data. So this is why you should set an acceptance criteria. And now we're going to talk about understanding data sets. So first thing is our training set. So this data set contains examples, for example, pictures of coffee mugs, and also labels such as defective or if it's okay, to train the AI model. So the first thing to do when you're trying to understand data sets is to understand the training set. So the training set contains of examples. For example, in this one, we've talked specifically about the coffee mugs, and then also labels if they're defective or not. And then once we get those, then we use those to train the AI model. So this is step number 1 of understanding data sets. And furthermore, we're going to talk about the test set now. So a test set is a separate data set used to evaluate the performance of the trained model. So the first part was the training set, which is what we use to train the model. And then after that, the second part is a separate data set that we specifically keep aside so that once our model is ready, we provide this test set to the model and we see if we can get that performance accuracy as we wanted. So this is how we can understand data sets. And now we're going to talk about data requirements. So the first one is size of data, and in this case you need to consult with AI experts to determine the size of the training and test sets. And the second one is multiple test sets. So some AI teams may require 2 different test sets for technical reasons. So they might not just have 1, they might have 2, 3, or depending on how much they need for their project. So this is the data requirements. And here are some pitfalls that you should avoid. So 100% accuracy. So it's unrealistic to expect 100% accuracy due to limitations in technology and insufficient data. So this is an pitfall to avoid. Don't ever expect that your model will get exactly 100% because everything is not perfect in the world and there's a lot of limitations in technology. So anything above 95% or even above 92% would be considered great for your model. And another pitfall that you should avoid is data issues. So data can also be messy, mislabeled, or ambiguous, affecting the performance of your model. So make sure that you always check through your data and make sure that it's not improperly labeled. So this is the second pitfall that you should avoid. And now we're going to talk about improving accuracy. And instead of data collection, more data can usually improve accuracy, but this is not always the case. So most of the times, the more data you have, the more accuracy you'll get. So this is not always the case because sometimes data can be mislabeled or it could be inaccurate. So sometimes instead you might have a little bit of information, a little bit of data, and instead that little bit of data is completely accurate. So depending on your project, once again, the more data usually helps, but make sure that it's not mislabeled and anything like that. And furthermore, in improving accuracy, make sure you also do a data cleanup, and you should correct mislabeled data. That can also help, as we said before. And final thoughts for this video. So you should discuss with AI engineers what is reasonable level for accuracy to aim for. So that summarizes everything for this video. So thank you so much for watching from Try to Be Useful, and we'll see you guys in our final next AI video.